Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justina. Some people call me Justina McCaffrey, and some people call me Justina Antonia. And before I start, I kind of want to volunteer, and I know Chris, so Chris is my volunteer. Chris, give me your name tag. Thank you, Chris. I have Chris's name. Ha ha ha. I'm here to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, about the importance of a brand. I'm a fashion designer, and I know the importance of a brand. I know the importance of a name, too. But I want to let you know that you, every one of you, not only have names, but you also have brands. And we all know how to protect ourselves in other kind of situations, but I'd like to tell you to possibly protect yourself when you go to work each day. I don't have all the answers to this, but what I do have is a story, and I'd like to tell you my story. So, I was born Justina Antonia. That was my birth name. Justina Antonia is the correct pronunciation in Ukraine. What I knew from the beginning of my birth was the fact that I was not as welcomed as I would be if I were a boy. If I were a boy, my name would continue generation upon generation. And that would have been a good thing for my parents and my grandparents and everything else. So by 4 years old, my next interaction with names was to change my name. I made a broad proclamation to the world that I was changing my name to Nina Antoniak. And you know what? Ironically, it stuck. It stuck with me for 12 years, this name, Nina Antoniak. Interesting thing about this, and think about this, ladies and gentlemen, Nina Antoniak is a very different situation than Justina McCaffrey. People that knew me then don't know that that's the same person I am now. I don't know what to think about it, but I think it's kind of interesting to think of that type of situation. Anyway, by the time I was 10, 12 years old, I was involved in acting. I had a strong acting career as, in television, TV, stage, touring productions. And every single person around me, whether they're 20 years old, 50 years old, or 10 years old with me, they all changed their name. They changed their name. So at a young age, I knew that was important. Equally so, I was also chosen to be Juliet. And imagine that, reading that play at a young age, people killing themselves over just a name. Can you believe that? Then, by 14 years old, I was starting to study Vogue magazine, and I realized that one name conjures up visuals of many different things around a brand, and how a brand was really important. Equally, when I was 18 years old, what happened, I was interested in politics and realized what name is on a sign is definitely the name that gives all these ideas of what does this person mean? Does this person mean economy or whatever policy of the moment it happens to be? That name is a very important name. By 18 years old, I went to the Fashion Institute in Southern California, Los Angeles, and realized nobody can pronounce my Ukrainian name. So that's why by 23 years old, I fully embraced the idea of changing my name when I got married. So then I became Justina McCaffrey. And this was my beloved brand, Justina McCaffrey, same name as what is on my passport and on my driver's license. I built this brand when I was early in my marriage. I built it, and it grew and grew. I started from cutting and sewing and measuring all by myself to eventually making a big name for myself. I was in Brides magazine. Here's a beautiful dress. I have many editorials. These are just chosen ones. The cover of Brides magazine here. The finance community even noticed me and put me on the Report of Small Business, Globe and Mail, Report on Business, and front page. I had the #1 dress at Kleinfeld Bridal. Of all the other dresses that they ever sold, my one dress sold more than any other dress in the 50 years of their operation. So what I did was pretty good, I had this was Martha Stewart, another dress. I met the Pope. I had stuff with giving the Pope thing. Here's my store, Sussex Drive. I had a store in Sussex Drive in Ottawa here. I had a store in Toronto. I had a store in Costa Mesa, a store within a store in Costa Mesa. It was, it was all very good and everything. Everything was fine. Everything was great. And these were the days, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, these were the days where creatively I dived right into my product. I worked in such a way with all the abilities of architecture and all the abilities of figuring out the way my business worked and the way that my dresses were to hold up. My best friends were the most inanimate objects. My dress forms were my friends. My sewing machine was that trusted advisor, that thing that would carry me through. This is where my world was. I was in this great world of creating beautiful, beautiful dresses. But one fateful day, my husband wanted a divorce. February 18th, 2008. He wanted a divorce, and he had a plan, a strategic plan that he methodically put together and very, very well. And he said, let's just put it this way. I walked into the factory one day, and everything was gone in the factory. My seamstresses were there. They were wondering what to do, and I didn't know what to do. And so I thought, well, what do? I go to the store. I tried to get in the store. My key didn't work, this store. And then the ladies came in and said, well, we were told we weren't supposed to let you in. I went to my home. My key couldn't open the door. And soon after that, I realized my phone was disconnected, my bank accounts were drained, and I was pretty much left on a February day, 10 below zero in Ottawa. What to do? It was definitely the boulevard of broken dreams for me. I had realized, and thank God, ladies and gentlemen, for my friends, because I couldn't make do with this without the relationships I had with my friends to take me in and help me for the next few months afterwards. I realized at that point that my name wasn't so much, well, the battle I was dealing with wasn't so much a battle of just a divorce. It was a battle of intellectual property. It was a battle of who owned the name and who owned the brand and everything. And considering all the work I had done for the company, I believed that it was my work and my brand. Now, my name at the time also conjured up images. It conjured up images of legal stuff and injunctions and court orders and legal papers and all kinds of crazy things. It was a really, really awful time. And I guess I have to tell you that I wasn't so mad as I was much more concerned with my security and what was my next plan to do, what was I going to do next. So I spoke to my lawyer like I did every day, and my lawyer said, you know what, we can go further, Justina. If you just give us $100,000, we'd be able to get your, forensic accounting done, and we would just misappropriation of funds and all this sort of stuff. And at that point, I said, no way. I think I'll take a rest from that. And besides that, I also felt like I was cannibalizing myself because the name that he chose to use as lawyers was his cousins, and they all had the brand McCaffrey as lawyers. So whenever law documents came to me, I felt like I was fighting myself and cannibalizing myself. It was just a mess. The newspaper got a hold of it. It was a big deal and everything. But at this point, I decided to take a rest. I was no longer willing to fight anymore. I thought I can just figure out what to do and what would be the best thing to do later. So I consulted a little bit, went to a few different places all around the world, gave my ideas and thoughts to different bridal groups and everything, and that was okay. It was good. I also had private clients. Private clients came to me, and they flew to me, and it was great. It was wonderful. One fateful day, another fateful day, July 21st, 2015, I got a call from one of my clients. She's in media, and she said, hey, Justina, did you hear what happened? And I said, no, what happened? And she said, your ex just went bankrupt. I said, oh, really? Wow. I was kind of just shocked and sad. I wasn't mad or angry or weird, but I did know, and what came to my mind is whenever there's a bankruptcy, there's also a bankruptcy sale. So I got on the phone, and I'm talking to the bankruptcy trustee, and I'm saying, hey, this is me, and this is what's going on, and this is my story, and what do you think? And you know what? That stuff is mine. It's my intellectual property. This is my stuff, and, come on, you should just give it to me. What the heck? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. I just think you just got to take a number and stand in line, I was really, really mad. Imagine that. Take a number, stand in line. Also, I should say, percolating around, bit by bit around here, was this story, this rumor. The rumor was that this big, fat company was going to come in and buy all my patterns. And, some of my patterns, they were difficult. Some of my patterns for one dress had 100 pieces. They were complicated. Like I said, there were engineering, there were architecture involved. This was complicated stuff. And this company, I knew this company, just from being in the industry and doing the consultant. I knew the people that worked worked in this company, and they were not talented. And they were lazy people too. I'm telling you, they were lazy, they weren't talented, they didn't know what they were doing. The patterns they did looked like crap. It was not awful. They could value what I had in my patterns. They knew what I had was important. So that's why they came in from Toronto. They sat up there, put up their big shiny truck they rolled out the back with the ramp, thinking they're just going to roll on in stuff into their van and everything. Are you kidding? I was standing in line and I was so mad. I was just so mad. So when I got let into my own that mystery place, that mystery factory that everything got moved to, that's where I ended up going, And so I went in there and I ran right to the back and I just said, this is my stuff. I'm buying it back. I bought back my stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, full price. Yeah! And those other people, they were nickel-diming. I had to talking about breaking barriers. I broke through all their barriers. That's what I did, yeah. Oh, it was awful. But I got to tell you, back up a few steps. Walking into that mysterious place, that mystery place, that place I wasn't supposed to know about, that factory, weirdest thing. I walked in, and my name was everywhere, all over the place. It was kind of creepy. My name, but not only my name, my writing. I have a distinctive writing, and my writing was all over, like little notes that I wrote 10 years ago, sketches that I had. It was really, really creepy. Not to mention all those inanimate objects I told you about that I was friends with the dress forms, wanting to hug them all the time and, do stuff, pin stuff on them and stuff. Once they were proud, and they had beautiful gowns attached to them. Now they were kind of old and just kind of decrepit and falling apart. The fabric was falling off of them, and they looked misshapen and everything. And they were sad. They were my friends, man. I mean, come on. And then there was the sewing machines. Once they were shiny and eager for work. And now they just looked like someone pulverized them bit by bit over and over again. It was just awful. I mean, and not to mention this sort of buzzing around my ears. It was all these people that were busy, happy little buyers, trying to pick away and look around and see what they can get and everything. They were picking, and they didn't know that they were picking at my emotional and artistic corpus that was standing there in that place. Because they didn't know that every piece, every square inch of that little place had a memory. It had a vision. It had a direction of what it wanted to do, but it just didn't get fulfilled. So that made me angry too. I would lash out to these people, these poor ladies, and I would say, what the hell are you doing? Do you know that is €600 a meter lace that you're dealing with, and you are just going to make doll clothes out of that? Or do you even know what to do with that fabric? You don't even know how to make it sing. You don't know how to make it dance. I do. I was so mad. I was just so mad. But like I said, day by day, the bankruptcy sale was 4 days. I went every single day to that sale, bit by bit. I saw the stuff getting depleted and sold off till there was almost nothing. There was nothing in the store. And I became friends with the people who were running it, and everything, and buy them coffee and talk about stuff. And it was like, this was the requiem of my professional dream right here happening, everything gone. And then, out of the corner, there's this lady, and this lady was like, oh, Justina, I think this is for you. And she goes up and she has this bag. And it looks like this bag of bones, in a simple thing like this. I think this is for you. Isn't this your name? This unassuming woman gave me my name back. And on that note, I'm going to give back Chris his name, too. Oops, sorry. So, final notes. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to work, sometimes it's a dangerous situation. Please, protect your name and protect your work. You'll thank me for it. God bless.